How many startups have you funded till date, and how much money have you channeled in these startups?
So we've funded 100 startups so far.
Okay.
We've channeled 320 million. We've raised 100 million for our platform along the way so we can build this. We've got 16,000 investors, and we've got 7 offices around the world. We just opened our first office in Asia in Singapore.
Yeah.
Someday we'll be doing it here. Right now what we're looking for in India is lots of investors to join us at ourcrowd.com and lots of startups that we can invest. We've actually made our first investment.
In India, right?
In India. We're very proud of that. Zoomcar.
Yeah.
I mean, Greg and his team are just doing spectacularly. They really are, in my opinion, the most progressive and interesting and innovative self-driving company in the world. And what they've done is spectacular, and they are going to really be huge. I'm very excited.
And would you be looking at investing in more Indian startups?
In the coming year, there'll be several. Okay. We're meeting unbelievable entrepreneurs.
And what sectors are these? All high-tech companies?
We're looking at cybersecurity. We're looking at SaaS software. We're looking at medical devices. We're looking at robotics. We're looking across the board. Because I think you're going to see a lot more deep technology companies coming from India. A lot of people have said, well, India is good for creating essentially an India-only model of a startup that's going to use something that looks like an American or a European model and will do it here. Yes, but that's not what interests me. What interests me are the Indian entrepreneurs who have true fire in their eye and their belly, who want to go for world domination. They don't want to just be the biggest dog in India.
Yeah.
They want to be the biggest dog in Silicon Valley and in New York and in London and in Tel Aviv. And the quality of the teams and the entrepreneurs that I've seen recently means, to my mind, that they're going to be successful, and we want to be part of that success.
You've recently raised $72 million at Series C round of funding. I believe it's the largest funding that any crowdfunding platform has received in the world.
That's true.
What do you plan to do with these funds?
Opening up offices around the world. We want to be a global platform, and the reason is not just megalomania, but it's actually, I think, sort of smart. Today, most venture capital is hyperlocal. In other words, you're part of an angel group that's in Bangalore, or part of an angel group which is in Boston, and that's what you do. But I think it's really cool for somebody in Boston to invest in Bangalore, or somebody from London to invest in Tel Aviv.
Sure.
And not just because that's a great way to raise money, but because you build a global network that actually help these startups get to market quicker, open doors, hire people.
Sure.
Today, a startup has to be a mini conglomerate. They have to be sort of an MNC from day one. You got to go global. If you don't go global, you're going nowhere. And I know you guys got a great market, big market, but my call to your entrepreneurs is think globally.
Think global from day one? Is that what you're saying?
Well, look, we in Israel, that's what we do. That's our secret sauce.
Okay.
And if you look at how we're doing this year, we'll raise about $5.5 to $6 billion for venture-backed companies in Israel. That's about twice the total money being raised for venture-backed startups in India. There's only one little difference. You guys have 1.25 billion people. We have 8.5 million.
Yeah.
And the reason that we're successful with this is, I would say, 2 things. One is that we go global from day one. Our guys and gals are not afraid to take on the big boys from the get-go. And the other is probably Zoomcar. Okay? In other words, I think we, like India, are a Zoomcar nation. We call it chutzpah, which means basically sort of like being really cheeky.
So this is a common connect we have.
There's a lot of common connect. We are both interested in going global and interested in solving hard problems.
Okay.
I mean, one of our companies is a company called VocalZoom, who come out of the Israeli intelligence, where they've got devices that can listen to conversations in a room by reading vibrations off a window pane. You've seen that in James Bond and other movies. Turns out they've taken technology like that, and they've now applied it to your face. So they can read the vibrations off your face to get perfect voice recognition. So solving a problem for voice recognition where background noise has made it impossible to talk to Siri, they're doing it with optics, which is completely impervious to sound. So you can get in your car, roll down your windows, crank up your stereo, and talk to Siri and give control without having any mistakes. That's what I call deep technology, and wild stuff, which I think will change the world.
So what's your assessment of the Israeli ecosystem, 25 years into the startup nation phenomenon? Can you summarize that for us?
I think now we're going from startup nation to scale-up nation.
Okay.
Many of the entrepreneurs who we're backing are serial entrepreneurs, people who've done this once, twice. The guys we're backing who do it 4 and 5 times. And after you sell the first one for $50 million and the next one you sold for $150, on number 3, you want to take it public. You want to be a multi-billion-dollar company. You want to employ people. You want to change the world. You don't want to get an exit so quickly. And that's a good thing, because I think that really Silicon Valley, what it specializes in is not just startups, but in building companies of huge scale. And I think that's a challenge for us in Israel. It's a challenge, I think, also in India. You have had scaled companies, certainly in the services area, Wipro, Infosys, TCS, all those wonderful companies. But to build innovative companies like Facebook and Google, from LinkedIn, from scratch, okay, that really get out there. We have a few. Checkpoint, which is a world leader in cybersecurity, is a very significant company. We have companies like Mobileye, who are leading the world now in autonomous driving machines.
India and Israel are natural allies and have an underlying innovation culture. What are the key takeaways for both the nations?
Our shared culture is huge. I mean, both are very family-oriented societies. Both are societies that are deeply traditional and deeply modern, and sort of caught between. And that's the most exciting. See, in Silicon Valley, for example, they don't care a hoot about tradition. They think tradition's stupid, right? In other words, anything that happened in the past is dumb. And I don't buy that. I think that rich tradition informs life, makes life interesting. And I think the real sweet spot is to be in between the future and the past, and to be enriched by the past, but building the future. So I think there's a deep cultural resonance between our two countries. But there's also hard work, love for education. Okay, in other words, in India, the thing I felt the most about this trip was the sense that there is a huge change at work. Everyone's talking about India too, right? About this whole second group of people who are coming in to a more affluent, more digital, more modern world, and they believe strongly in the power of education to lift them up out of poverty into a better lifestyle. As you said, this natural partnership, whether it's reflected at the governmental level or reflected now in business, it's a really a romantic period between Israel and India, and I want to make some romance.